Okay.
Whenever you're ready, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Absolutely. So, ciao Kevin. Good job.
Thank you.
And first of all, how are you doing? It's definitely okay now, the elbow, I hope.
It's definitely getting better. I think it's a process, but having played 4 sets today and feeling really good, and a match a few days ago, that's another very positive sign for me today. I thought I served very well throughout, not getting broken, so that's also a big plus. I felt I did a great job on my serve game, so of course I'm really pleased with how my body held up. That's the most important thing right now for me, and obviously the more I can keep playing matches, the better it will be.
And how do you feel the pressure of defending the final? I'm sure they have already asked you this, but getting match by match, now are you starting to see the road that last year brought you to the wonderful final?
To be honest with you, I'm not feeling any pressure from making finals last year. It's a new year. Last year is something completely different. I can take the positive experiences from last year, the experience, but everything else is completely different. This is so many factors are different. I mean, not having played so much tennis this year, new opponents, different conditions, different challenges I'm going to have to face. It's a new opportunity, and I'm really pleased to be through to the 3rd round, and hopefully I'll be able to keep it going.
What's your take on the super tiebreak on 12 ball? You have been definitely affected by this, by the long sets last year. Do you feel more knowing that anything can happen, but you want to go past the 12 ball in the 5th? Is it somehow better to go in the match knowing it will last a definite amount of time?
I think it's definitely a move in the right direction. I've said it a few times. I think they could have put the tiebreaker at 6-all. I think at that stage it's a good time to play a tiebreaker, but I think it's still a move in the right direction, putting a definitive end to it at 12-12. I think they try to balance the historical element of playing long sets with a definitive end, so I think it's a move in the right direction. Not a ton of matches go that far, but it definitely protects the players and it protects the schedule, so I was happy to see that change.
Did you talk about it maybe during the last year with John Isner about your match of last year and say, okay, John, it will never happen again? Did it happen to have a chat?
We haven't spoken specifically about it. Obviously, we've made some references to it, but we both know what a tough and close match it was. It's a piece of history here at Wimbledon. Second longest match, longest semi-final match. I probably won't change unless there's a really, really long baseline exchange and it gets to 12-12. But yeah, as I was saying, I definitely think it's a move in the right direction.
Just one.
Hi Kevin. There's been a lot of debate about Justin Gilmourov and whether or not he's to be allowed back into tennis at some format. Would you welcome him back?
Yeah, it's obviously a very the whole circumstances has been very tough to deal with. Obviously, Justin brought a lot of benefits to the players and fought very hard for the players. He made, as he self-admittedly so, made a very big mistake, obviously, in some of his actions about a year ago, and you know, therefore he decided to step away and try to sort things out. I think we'll have to see how time plays out. I think we'll have to see what the situation is, if he does want to come back further down the road. But up until then, I'd prefer not to speculate. I'd rather sort of look at the facts closer to the time and take it from there.
And when he was in court, in the case, he said no contest, and under obviously American law, no contest means you are admitting the guilt to some extent. So if he is guilty of that assault, would it be justifiable for him to be allowed back into the sport?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not an expert in the Californian penal code. I mean, it's I don't really understand. I mean, the specifics from what I've seen, the no contest is neither admission of guilt or innocence. So we'd have to really look at that and see what that means. And I know Justin has said that he wants a chance to sort of explain that better and explain exactly what happened. So that's another reason we would definitely have to wait and see.
Just one last thing about tennis in South Africa. we have Lloyd. He's beginning to coming through quite strongly. I'm sure I saw on the social media you train together, etc. Maybe did he ask you something about Mr. Roger? How is it to play him on big stages like Wimbledon?
I think it's fantastic. Lloyd coming through, another South African, he's into the top 100. I think he can take a lot of positives from his match with Roger yesterday, winning the first set and just being on center court against somebody like that. It's so valuable. So really hope he can use that experience and keep building. I'm looking really forward to competing with him at the World Team Cup next year in Australia. We've practiced a bit. We've spent some time together, and it's a tough balance. Obviously, I'm definitely available for him, to pass on experiences, but he's also figuring things out, and it's just been great to see. He's a great guy, and hopefully he'll be able to keep improving.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Mate, is that it for Kevin? Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Hello, how are you?